watch this video and win the 10,000 euros.
Hello everyone. Since 2022, my friend Professor Markus, along with the German Chemical Society, has been awarding a 10,000 euro prize each year to a researcher anywhere in the world. It is a pretty unique award and has sparked a lot of interest in the scientific community. Today, I'm excited to be sitting down with Mary himself and to learn more about what this prize is all about and why it was created. Hi, Mary. Could you introduce this award to our audience and tell us more about what the prize it is?
Hello, I am Markus, and I have been working as a scientist for the last 50 years, about 50 years, in biochemistry and biophysics. And the prize goes like this. If you discover something strange or funny, then report it to me. It should be in the field of biology or chemistry or physics or any other natural science or technical science. And I will then discuss it with my colleagues, and you may well get the 10,000 euro prize. Important is the deadline. You should submit it before May 31st, 31. And if you don't make it this year, next year, and then years after that, before May 31, you may submit it later.
Thank you. And can you tell us what is the condition for winning the prize?
Well, there is one condition which may shock you, and it is that your discovery should be useless. Well, useless in the sense of no visible application in industry. It should be born out of your curiosity, out of chance, or out of your desire to understand nature. But it should not be born out of your wish to make profit. And I call this ludic science, from the Latin ludens, which means playful science. And I wrote a book called Ludic Science, where there are about 100 examples of history which tell about ludic science. But you don't have to buy this book. You can order it at any bookstore, but you don't need to read it. You don't need to buy it. Just apply.
Mm-hmm. And 10,000 euro is not a small amount. And could you tell us what inspired you to set up this prize for ludic science?
Yes, I can, but my inspiration is very sad. In these 50 years that I've been working, sometimes I had playful ideas in the sense that I explained, and I wanted to go deeper into it, understand it better, make something out of it. But for this I needed equipment, and for the equipment I needed money. And money I applied to institutions. There are many institutions that give money for research projects. And these institutions answered with a question. They started with a question. What is the use of it? What is the application of it? And I didn't know any use thing. They were just interesting, surprising. And I got very angry. And this prize is my fight against this attitude. And many people, also in these institutions, don't know that history has shown us that in the course of centuries and centuries, things have been found in a ludic, in a playful way, and later became rediscovered and made useful, improved to be useful. But they started being useless.
Mm-hmm. And could you give us some examples of new designs?
Examples in this sense of shown us by history, yes, I can. Well, in the book I have about 100 or so, but I give you a few. For example, Percy Spencer. He was in the 1940s an electrical engineer working with microwave radar. He was quite close to it, and he had put before work a chocolate bar in his trousers in case he gets hungry. And then while he was working, he got hungry and he grasped to this chocolate bar and it was all melted. He laughed and his colleagues laughed, but this he kept thinking about, and then he went to his company and took a microwave device and put a non-melted chocolate bar above it, and it melted. So he saw, yes, the microwaves melt things. Okay. He took then this microwave device home, put it in his kitchen, and started cooking with it for him and for his family. And he saw there were no side effects, and everybody was happy with his cooking with microwaves. He got a patent for this and got quite rich with his patent. And this was the basis of the many, many microwave devices in kitchens all over the world today. Another example which I like is that of Donald Glaser. That was in around 1952. He was lonesome and depressed and went to a bar and ordered a beer. And when he opened it, he saw bubbles coming up on one side and not on the other side. He wondered why they appear here and not there. He ordered another beer and it was the same. They appeared in some region, but not in other regions. So he went to his lab later, the day later, and took not beer, but pure water under high pressure. And then suddenly he decreased the pressure like opening a beer bottle, and he saw bubbles coming up. He could not see why they appeared here and not there. And then with a microscopic objective, he could look in detail different places of the water and could see that the bubbles appear when there are impurities or small particles that he could not see with his bare eyes. And he published this in a small journal. And luckily, this publication was found by managers of the big accelerators of particles, like the Large Hadron Collider in Geneva, in Switzerland, where particles are accelerated with speed close to the speed of light and are made to collide with each other, and this collision produces very small particles that are part of the atom. These particles are smaller than the atom, are smaller than the nucleus of the atom, are smaller than the components of the nucleus, like the protons and neutrons. And they can be seen by letting them go through water at high pressure, and then with the decrease of pressure, with the bubbles. This whole thing, which still is working, is called the bubble chamber, but most people call it the Glaser chamber. And this is how you can find it in internet, in Wikipedia, for example. And with this word Glaser chamber, they honor Donald Glaser, who discovered it in a beer bottle, playfully. Another example which I enjoy much is that of Heron of Alexandria in Old Greece, about 100 years after Christ. He built a steam engine. For that, he made water boil, and the vapor coming out, he canalized it into a tube so that it could escape above the tube and make a ball that was suspended roll. So he could transform heat into work. But this work was very little. This was not efficient. He could only use this in circus performances or other shows. But 1,700 years later, in the late 18th century, his writings were discovered by James Watt and other technical scientists, and they rebuilt Heron's apparatus, but in a case where there was very little losses of energy. So the whole thing was very efficient. It could transform almost all of the heat into work. This steam engine caused the so-called Industrial Revolution, which means that many factories which produce all kinds of things, including clothes, but also trains and boats, were activated with steam engines. In some countries, where in Africa, for example, where there were still slave trade, slavery could be abolished because steam engines were cheaper than a slave. Also, especially in Europe and in the US, factories with steam engines grew and grew, and investors put money in these factories to make them grow even larger. So capitalism got stronger. And this caused later Marxism to appear. And Marxism caused several revolutions here and there in the world. So the whole world changed due to this discovery, this ludic discovery by Heron from Alexandria in Old Greece.
Thank you for the vivid examples.
Well, thank you.
Now, my last question is, how can someone apply for this prize?
Well, there is a link where all with all the instructions are in to apply, and all informations about winners that have got it last year, this year, last year, the year before, and so on, with pictures of these winners. They're all young so far. And the link is www.gdch/Mario Markus. That's my name. Mario, then no interruption, no dot, Markus with K, and then enter. Again, www.gdch.de/Mario Markus. That's my last name. And then enter. That's it.
Yeah. And thank you. And thanks for watching our video. If you have great idea and if they are useless, please apply for this prize and you could win the 10,000 euro. Any
Yes.
tips?
Yes, there's one hint I forgot to tell you. Before you apply, you have much higher chances to get the 10,000 euro if you publish it somewhere, in a journal or in the internet, because then I and my colleagues, can feel stronger because it had passed through a filter, which is internet or a journal. And so we are more self-conscious in giving you the prize.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Thanks for your time, Mario.
And thanks for your time, Yashin, you.